Hey guys, RC here, back with episode 7 of our Let's Play 1976 season. We are right at the end of May, starting to look ahead to the All-Star break. We've actually come on the last sim and went 7-3, still basically playing 500 baseball. Um, saw a slight uptick in our fan attendance. So hopefully, let's see, we've got a home series. Actually, we've got the whole week at home. So hopefully, in this next week and a half, we can have a pretty good home stand. We'll see. Last video, we did call Hank Aaron back up from the DL. He is still not 100% and could possibly suffer an injury, but we've got it set up where he is never going to play in the outfield, but it gets his bat into our bench, which I think we need. Ron Guidry is 1-1 with a 2.7 ERA since we traded for him. Paul Splittorff having a really solid season. Steve Busby, last year's #1 guy, not doing badly. Dennis Leonard, he suffered a couple of tough losses. And Bryle's really the only one that's struggling. Doug Bird has not pitched in a while, I don't think. Let's see. Pitching stats, game log. We're May 31st. He has not pitched since April 17th. So that's interesting. I don't know if it's because we have, well, I know what it is. When you've got so many, in this era it was normal to go complete games, and you've seen just in going through news how many complete games players have. So and then you had they didn't call them closers at this time, they called them stoppers, and they were basically guys that, he's an exception, but they were basically guys that had pretty good stamina, and they'd go 2 or 3 innings in relief if you needed them to. So, you really didn't go deep into the bullpen. So the guys at the back end of the middle relief just never pitched at all. So that's something that just won't change for another era. Let's see. So it's July for the All-Star teams. So let's go a week. Personal message. Steve Staggs is recovering well, about 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. Oh, and we did go the whole week there, so good. So let's check standings first. 6-4 week. That actually was probably better than we could have hoped. We're 2.5 back, but we're alone in second place, and we lost 3 in a row to the Orioles. So hopefully we swept the White Sox, or took 2 out of 3 from them at least. Hal McRae leading the league at a 383 average. Very good. Paul Splittorff right behind Tanana for the ERA lead. So that's cool. All right, batter of the month, Jim Rice from Boston hit .412 with 6 homers, 14 RBIs for the month of May. So very good for him. George Foster from the Reds was the National League hitter of the month, 381, 10 home runs, giving him 14 for the season. That's pretty good. Frank Tanana went 6-3 for the season, but he went 4-1 with a 1.17 ERA in 6 starts in May to win AL Pitcher of the Month. The Mets' Craig Swan, perfect 5-0 in 6 starts, a 1.13 ERA for the month, won National League Pitcher of the Month. Ken Landrew of the Brewers, 333, six triples. I'm sorry, six doubles, two triples, two homers, 15 runs scored, and 11 RBIs, winning AL Rookie of the Month. And the National League Rookie of the Month, Jack Clark, he also won it last month. 378 average, 7 homers, 33 RBIs. He's got 10 homers on the season. Johnny Bench got up to a 20-game hit streak during the month. However, it did end at 20 games when he got no hits against the Dodgers. Tommy John, not having that stellar year this year, much better, a little better ERA, but not the win-loss record. But he's still 6-4. He could go on a run. Jose Cruz from the Cubs on the DL for 4 weeks. J.R. Richard, 6-6 with a 2.23 ERA. I'll let you guys kind of read through the All-Star balloting if you would like to. George Brett still the leading vote getter at third base. Amos Otis about 100,000 votes behind Fred Lynn of Boston in center field. And Don Baylor has jumped over Reggie Jackson in right field. Yeah, we are not. Dennis Leonard is no longer in the starting 5. Al Hrabowski continues to lead the way on votes for reliever. And a quick look at the National League. Johnny Bench, 570,000 votes. A lot of Cincinnati Reds. And yes, if you were not alive back then, they really were that darn good. Steve Stagg, we heard was coming back. Don Baylor, Player of the Week. 3 homers, 10 RBIs during the week while hitting .500. Ted Simmons of the Cardinals, 600 average for the week, 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Power rankings, the Cincinnati Reds continue to lead the way. Kansas City maintains at 10th position. If we come and look at our schedule, we won the opener against the White Sox. Steve Busby, complete game, 2-hitter, very nice. Yep, so we did sweep the White Sox. Splittorff with a complete game, 8 hits, 3 runs. And Patek back in the leadoff spot, 2 for 3. Burleson's hitting .250 for us. George Brett, still 1 home run on the season. 2-1. Leonard, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. He's now 6-3. Hrabowski got his 10th save with a perfect 9th inning. Hal McRae had his 4th home run on the season in the 6th inning. Got 2 RBIs there, and that was the difference in the game. Against Baltimore, we scored more, but we gave up more runs. Bryles, 8 runs in 4 innings. That doesn't help us any. Guidry takes his 2nd loss, 6 runs in 4 1/3. Bird actually came in and pitched 1 2/3 scoreless innings and only gave up 1 hit, so his ERA is down to 8.4. And I think I might move him up in the bullpen. Oh, Hank Aaron pinch hit, but did not get a hit. Busby, a complete game, 10 innings, but took the loss. So I think Well, it will not let me move him up. I can't prioritize the rotation here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put him into middle relief. And I'm going to put him as a setup. Let's do that. All right, let's delete those. Pitching continues to be pretty good. You've started to see a widening in our runs scored against runs against, which is a very moneyballish stat. 8 more weeks for Lacey, 1 to 2 weeks for Stags. Patek's hitting 290. That's actually a really good season for him. McRae 383. Otis with 7 home runs. He's got to be exhausted. Well, no, he says he's 100% rested. Let's see if we need to move any of these guys around. The quiz. Craig Perkins. Now, I did call him up at the beginning of this season, and he only hit 100. Catcher and left. Gary Lance. Let me try to trade him. A lot of relief pitchers. A lot of old relief pitchers. Alright, well, we are not going to do that. I wonder, how will he react? Alright, let's go ahead and knock out another week. Personal message. Recovery unclear. His hamstring strain. Alright. Well, that's a week. And 2 and 8 that week, and we dropped down to 3.5 back to next to last again. So we're going to play musical chairs here most of the season, it looks like. Yeah, the Yankees swept us, and we dropped 2 out of 3 to Milwaukee. That's not good. Splittorf, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 7 1/3. Hrabowski gave up 6 runs, none earned. How do you give up 6 unearned runs? How many errors did we have? 2 errors. Brett, and Stinson. Bird only went 1/3 of an inning to finish out the 8th, and then Herbowski came in. What gets me is he had no walks and 5 hits, so how are these unearned runs? I mean, I could see a couple of them being because of the errors, but man, that's kind of weird. And there almost a 1-hour rain delay, and both pitchers still stayed in the game. Interesting. 4-1. Leonard got the win. Herbowski the save. He had a sac bunt. 8-6 loss in the 9. We gave up 6 runs in the 7th inning. That's not good. Those all went to Briles, it appears. Suter gave up 1 hit. Mingori gave up a run, but by then it was too late. George Brett won player of the game, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Didn't matter. Yankees score 3 in the bottom of the 9th to get the win here. Herbowski another loss with the blown save. Never recorded an out. Wow. Tommy John got the win there. Splittorff, 3 runs, 9 hits in 8 innings. 2-1, and the Yankees tied the game in the 7th and won it in the 12th. Busby, wow, 11 1/3. That's like 2 extra inning games in a row that he went the distance and we did not go to the bullpen. That's incredible. I'm just looking at McGregor, Martinez, Lyle, Tidrow. That's pretty 4 well-known names in baseball, one after the other with the Yankees. That's just sickening. All right. John Stearns, catcher for the Mets, got 5 hits in a game. Dusty Baker, and yes, it's that Dusty Baker, the managed for the Giants for a while. The Cubs, I believe, broken kneecap, out for 8 months. Ended his season, 26 years old. Richie Hebner, Ken Forsch, or Bob Forsch, I'm sorry, Bob Forsch. There was a Ken Forsch as well. American League All-Star voting, still Carlton Fisk and Rod Carew leading the way. George Brett still atop third base. Amos Otis falling farther behind Fred Lynn in the center field hunt. Hrabowski still getting the most votes in the bullpen. I don't know how, with the performances he's had. National League, just a quick rundown. Gary Matthews, National League Player of the Week. George Orta of the White Sox, American League Player of the Week. Rookie leaders, innings pitched. Nobody from our staff. And the team power rankings. I think we took a dive here down to number 20, the lowest we've been all season, I'm pretty sure. Still pitching pretty well. Not getting batting average is actually up to third. On base percentage is not very good, and I'm a big OBP guy, so that's disappointing. Mallory's still hitting a $189. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we got time to maybe run another week. So we'll make up a little bit this video for last video dragging so much. 2 weeks for Mallory, still day to day. Well, you're gonna have to stay in. I really don't have anybody else, I don't think. Oh, cancel next week. There we go. All right, another week in the books, and we went a 4-game win streak, and we've jumped back up to second, but we're now 3.5 back, whereas last time we were in this spot we were only 2 back. So still only 1 game separating us from second and 5th place. Pretty crazy race here. Looks like we're definitely going to go down to the end of the season. McRae leading the American League in hitting, in average, in on-base plus slugging, third base in batter war. Burleson a 17-game hit streak, very nice. Paul Splittorff a 1.82 ERA, second in the league. Take a look at the schedule. So we dropped 2 out of 3 to Detroit, but then we swept the Rangers. Mickey Lolich got his 10th win of the season. Leonard, the hard luck loser. I saw a name up here that I recognized. Ron LaFleur. That was a good player. Mickey Lolich, the pitcher. 35 years old. Must have been LaFleur. That was the name that jumped out at me. 2-1 loss. Bryles, 8 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs. Honestly, you just can't pitch much better than that. I mean, you can't throw a shutout every time you go out. That was just a game we underperformed. A 2-hitter for Ron Guidry. Very nice. Complete game 2-hit shutout as he goes to 2-2 on the season. George Brett grounded into a double play. No extra base hits. Otis 3 for 3, hitting .285 on the season. And then a nice 3-game run. 14 hits for the Royals. 3 for 6 for Otis with 2 RBIs. Brett still just 1 home run. Man, he's just not hitting for power this year. Patek stole 2 bases, giving him 22 on the season. Splittorff, no decision as Herbowski got the blown save. Mangori picked up the win. Oh, we went 12 innings in that one. I didn't even notice. 7-4. 5 runs in the last 2 innings to come from behind. So Busby makes that stand up. McRae with his 5th stolen base of the season. Fairley got 2 home runs. Very good. And he's got 4 on the season while Brett's only got 1. Very disturbing. Leonard, complete game, 6 hits, 1 run, goes to 8-4. Patek stole 2 bases. Otis with his 8th home run. I just can't get over the struggles that Brett's having. All right, let's take a quick look through the emails. Oh, Don Hood doing some TV commercials for a car dealership. Mike Cubbage with some injury problems for the young third baseman. Charbonneau, 20 straight hits. You know what? Is he... Why do I have him on my short list? That's why his name's capitalized like that instead of being spelled regularly. Was that a guy that I was maybe looking to draft? Third round, 11th pick. Ooh, a 10-game suspension after a brawl. Wow. I don't know why he's on my short list. Couldn't have been that important. I'm going to go ahead and take him off. There we go. That's why he showed up in my news, I guess. Woody Fryman, AL Star Voting. Same cast of characters. Brett looks like he's making some room there. McRae has climbed into third in left field. Amos Otis still falling a little further behind Fred Lynn, but still second. And Herbowski still leading the way. Over in the National League, doesn't look like any changes in the group. Player of the Week, Boog Powell. He was, I'm pretty sure he was in the Miller Lite beer commercials back in the 80s and 90s. If you ever saw those, that was the one where John Madden kind of always burst through the wall or through the TV screen or whatever. And they had like literally it was an all-star cast of sports personalities. And I'm pretty sure Boog Powell was one of those guys that did those commercials. Steve Rogers of the Pirates, Player of the Week in the National League. Again, I think he only appears because he's in the minor leagues right now. So we don't have a. No, we did look at the Player of the Week. Hank Aaron is the most serviced time player in the majors at 22 years and 70 days. And we are up to 13th. You know, how is Hank looking? He's back to 100% health. Very good. So let's tell you what. I just wanted to see. So he is back to full health. Great morale. He's hitting 348 with 3 RBIs, 6 starts. So he's been pinch hitting. Let's go in here and see. All right, so Aaron can only play left. McRae can play right, so I want him over to right field. All right, well, that did not help. So we're going to force start him in right field. And I am going to force start Aaron in left field. Now that he's back to full health, I want his bat in the lineup. There we go. And that gets Mallory back to a utility role, and also because he's been not hitting well and he's got some back stiffness. Rick Burleson. Well, actually, let's see. Career. So he was hitting 261 with Boston, 308 with us since the trade. Not expecting a lot of power out of him, but the average is what I was looking at. And he's got a 977 fielding percentage at second base. I think that's pretty darn good. So I think that turned out to be a pretty decent move for us to pick him up with the Lee Lacy injury. And then, like I said, when Lacy comes back, Burleson can then slide over to shortstop, and that's going to leave Patek probably up for a trade. Now, he is having basically a career season this year, but, I still think that might be the best move. And like I said, I like Freddie. Freddie was just always one of those, he was short. Look at that, 5'4", 150 pounds. Kind of like Eddie Gadel, if you know who that is. If you don't, look up Eddie Gadel, Gaedel, and the St. Louis Browns. Do a web search for that. Very interesting chapter in well, not even a chapter, a very interesting page in baseball history. But 5'4", he was short. They his nickname was the Flea. I would guess he doesn't have a lot of range, but he's evidently pretty fast, so he can make up ground. But yeah, 5'4", I wouldn't want him laying out for much of anything. 15 errors. I think that's going to be the route to go there. I'm just having trouble dealing with Brett's power outage. And Ron Fairley. Well, I mean, I can't complain about his average because that's where he's always been, right? So that just is what it is. All right, we covered all the emails. We have looked at some players, and we will get to the end of June, hopefully in the next video, and we'll do another tour around the league. But I mean, I'll leave this up here right here at the end. You guys can pause that, check out the leaderboards, the detailed standings, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll these down for the full wild card if you want. So that will help out. And then, actually, that's not what that's what I wanted right there. If you guys want to take a look at that, there's your American League and your National League. And again, I'll just leave it right there. You can pause the video to browse through all the numbers to your heart's content. We are actually 4 games under our Pythagorean. Minnesota's 3 games over. So right now we should be 38-31 and leading the league. We have a 32-run differential. Everybody else in this division is in the negatives. But look at the Yankees, plus 92 run differential. That's just disgusting. 8-14 in 1-run games. So, we have some guys that are not very clutch right now. And I don't know if they're going to learn that this season. I don't think they'll learn that this season. Anyway, we did go a little long here at the end, but thanks for checking out the video. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. As always, please feel free to chime in with your thoughts, your comments, anything you like, anything you don't like. I want to tighten this up as much as I can. Excuse me. The Novocaine's finally starting to wear off from the dentist, and I can feel my face again, and it doesn't feel good. But still wanted to get a couple of recordings in the can for posting over the weekend. These will probably go either Sunday, maybe into next week. But I usually try to keep 4 or 5 recorded and then post. And then when I get down to 1 or 2, I throw another 4 or 5 into the can. So I figured I would use my time home from work this afternoon to knock these out for you guys, and also to play a little bit. I was getting a little tired of my Fallout playthrough that I'm doing. I just needed a little bit of a break from that. And anyway, so Lee Lacy, boy, that loss has really hurt us this year. Hank, I really wish I could have seen a full season here at the end of his career, because this will probably be it for him, I would guess. Although his ratings are still up pretty high, maybe he plays another year. Maybe we go after him in free agency, and I don't see extending him a year unless I can get him on a really good deal. Um, but we'll see about that. Um, but I think that's it. I think we've caught everything up for where we are. So we'll see you guys next time. Take care.